Jared, we're here today talking about spooky stuff. Talking about spooky things. Namely survival horror. I'd like to start this discussion by referencing the fact that my life is a survival horror game for the next 2 months as I await Santa Claus's generous donation of the Nintendo Switch and Super Mario Odyssey.
So, Bill, a scale of 1 to 10, I know it's hard to judge being a longtime Nintendo fan, but how excited are you for that?
11. Solid 11. Oh, and by the way, my Halloween costume for the day is Walter White pre-cancer. Still working on it. Jared, I don't think has a costume unless this is something I'm not aware of.
Angry white civilian.
Okay, fair enough. I figured we'd start the discussion off with my favorite survival horror game, Majora's Mask.
Well, why not do Majora's Mask? We discussed this.
Jared, have you seen how scary the moon is in this game?
The moon scared you, Will?
Okay, no, I didn't really scare me that much. For real, we're going to start the discussion with Jared. I felt like we would parlay and go into it first with a discussion of the first half of BioShock. I would say the first half of that game is definitely survival horror. Before the game, unveils the history of the city and gives you some more weapons, makes you feel more powerful. Could you start off with just a wrench? Start off with just a wrench, my friend. And splicers are coming for you. And it's scary. It's fucking scary. Anything you have to say about BioShock? First BioShock?
First BioShock? Yes, absolutely.
We're just talking about the first half.
First of all, and this is purely speculation, I would like to say that I think that the wrench is symbolic of you being the one that has to fix everything. You are trying to fix Rapture.
You see, when you first said that, I hated it, but I kind of like it now. I kind of like it now. Yeah, I like that. Definitely the first half is scary as shit with, you got the Big Daddy drilling that guy into the wall. You got all the mystery going on with the little sisters.
My daddy's better than your daddy.
I love the suspense they built up.
They built a lot of suspense
like
with that.
When I first went up against one, oh man, the fear factor was in the high margins.
Yeah, I'd say so. That was probably my first survival horror game, actually. The first one I played. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. Played it on 360. It was an HD survival horror, so it was nice.
It was very well detailed for its time. That I've got to say.
Very. 2007, man, we come a long way. And in some ways, we haven't come very far at all.
You know what the best thing I love about BioShock is? There's some games where once you've played like the sequels, the graphics are so much better that you can't go back to the original without having.
The original has a nice flair to it.
It does. There's no way to really recapture the original BioShock, and I love that.
Yeah, don't even talk to me about Infinite. They ruined Rapture with that DLC. That DLC is a survival horror game in itself just because of how bad it is.
They kind of made my choices feel pointless because if there's infinite universes, what does it matter?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Plus, when you start getting into alternate universes and time travel, I mean, you just really can't do any of that.
Getting worked up. I'm gonna have to close this little girl so she doesn't die. I had second on the discussion. We were going to talk about Dead Space. You're a big fan of Dead Space.
Absolutely, man.
Tell me what's your analogy for it again? What is it? Event Horizon meets Alien, is it?
Dead Space, to me, is definitely Event Horizon meets Alien.
Yeah.
I mean...
one thing I love about it is survival horror, and your weapons arsenal is engineer shit.
Yeah.
You're using tools to dismember these things. It's really cool.
One thing I would like to say is the attention to detail that they actually played. Because if you actually take the time to explore the ship as you're going through it,
USG
there's a lot
Ishimura.
of background. Yes, USG Ishimura. Now, one thing I must say is this. First of all, I got to kind of nitpick at the beginning of the game. Because a ship of that size, you're telling me you're going to send one small file.
Okay, stop.
Okay. Let's not delve back.
Not going there. Let's touch on Dead Space 3.
What about Dead Space 3? Do you mean ladders and elevators, the game?
Shoots and ladders, the game.
Shoots and ladders.
Yeah. They tried to make a co-op for some reason. They said, let's take the scariest shit survival horror game and throw your buddy in there with you.
Okay.
And not only that, let's make your buddy a big, dumb, muscular lughead.
Okay, this one I have a valid discussion to bring up. Okay, it's hard enough to make a scary game to begin with. on a game because you know it's a game. Our generation has been desensitized by years of scary so-called scary movies and so-called scary games. We just don't get scared by the same things that we used to, and then on top of that, you're gonna say, "Oh, here's backup. Here's your friend to help you."
Ooh,
the only thing they had that really going for them was the isolation you felt when you were going through there. There's no one to come help you. You're the only one that can do it. If you
In
die,
space, no one can hear you scream. I believe that was the tagline.
it was.
I believe that was the tagline. Dead Space 3, someone can hear you scream. Your fucking buddy can hear you scream.
Yes,
Ooh,
they can.
Getting mad. Next up, we were going to talk about Resident Evil 4. Have you played Resident Evil 4, Jim?
I don't believe I have.
The
I
best
mean, I've
escort
dabbled
the
in
best
Resident Evil.
escort mission of all time.
Oh, Jesus. No, I have not. I believe I've heard tales.
Ouroboros. Those things are fucking scary, man. You shoot their head off, and the big centipede thing comes out, and ooh.
Well, but I think I played
heebie-jeebies. I
five,
got
wasn't
it.
it?
5, yeah, you
Five,
played.
and,
I think Ouroboros is the one in that one too. I think Ouroboros is.
I played the first part of, I believe it was like something Operation Raccoon City, where you could like choose what character you wanted to start as.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really didn't scream Resident Evil to me. It kind of broke the series.
Resident Evil 4 definitely took a more action approach to the series, which brings us to Resident Evil 7. Biohazard.
Now,
This game, you thought PT was canceled. No, it just got renamed. Something about Jack Baker. Okay, here's the thing, Jared. Jack Baker reminds me of my dad, the father of the Baker family.
now are we going into the game? Are there spoilers?
We're gonna do no spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
We're talking about the first half with the Baker family.
First half.
Jack Baker reminds me of my dad, which makes that extra creepy for me when I'm like cutting his head off and whatnot. Yeah, Resident Evil 7. There's something about a lot of survival horror games do this thing where there's a distinct point where these are the horror sections of the game, and this is the puzzle section of the game.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7 combines those. You're solving puzzles while Jack is coming at you with a chainsaw.
I would like to bring up Resident Evil 5 for nomination of Puzzle Game of the Year with its lovely light combinations that you have to pull out.
Oh God! You mean where you're
Yeah,
turning
the light
the thing,
puzzles.
where you're doing light puzzles? Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, and the best thing is if you're doing co-op and you are doing the section where you're aligning the beams to get through the trap doors.
You gotta tell your buddy to move so he doesn't.
You
get
gotta
hit.
tell your buddy to move. You gotta like line it up with him and be like, all right, yeah, get behind this column or duck over here. It's ridiculous.
Not fun. But Resident Evil 7, excellent puzzles, excellent gunplay. I don't like that word gunplay, but Resident Evil 7's got some nice gunplay.
Resident Evil 7 definitely took a different twist on it. You don't feel like you have any sort of upper hand. Like even if you do get an automatic weapon
Not at all.
in this game, you still
not
feel
good.
like what's coming.
You get an automatic weapon, it's not good. It's not a good weapon.
An automatic weapon, a quicker way to waste ammo.
Quick way to waste ammo. 74 or 64 shots, none of them, maybe 5 of
Even
them.
with
hit
everything
target.
they changed, do you know the one thing that I love about it?
What's that?
Being a person who played Resident Evil 5 constantly, because that was the era of no internet for me.
Oh God, the Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages.
The Jared Dark Ages.
Yes. Yes. Played it over and over, and one thing that I could never wrap my head around is why do I have to stand still to shoot? What on there?
I think they fixed that for you in 6.
I think
they fixed that for you in 6. Consequently ruining everything else.
They did.
But,
oh my goodness, I don't know what was in their heads.
I don't know. You
I guess the build suspense. You had to stand still. They were coming at you.
Can you move in Resident Evil 7 while you're shooting?
I believe you can.
I think you can. You'd like that one.
Yeah.
And it's first person. Which is really nice.
Any
First person
Resident Evil where I
survival
can
horror.
move while I shoot. Just don't break the reality for me.
First person survival horror is something special, I think. Next up, while we're talking about first person survival horror, we're talking about your favorite. We're talking about Outlast.
Outlast, dude.
Give us your thesis.
Let me ask you one question before. Did you ever personally beat Outlast?
No, you beat it for me.
I did. I beat it for myself, and then I beat it for you.
Yep, I just wanted those
Such a
achievements,
good
to be
game.
honest.
Now, this is a game that really takes the player out of the protect yourself mindset, and it really puts you in someone else's shoes. Normally, you may, in a survival scenario, you may defend yourself. You may have the fight reaction.
Mm-hmm.
This puts you in the shoes of someone who only has the fleeing reaction. They only
Flight.
have the flight.
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. Yes. Now, and the thing is, you can't break character. You are this person. And the challenging part is not necessarily getting around all the enemies, not necessarily cracking all the puzzles, but doing it as this person. Because you have to, in essence, and I don't want to give it too much credit, but you have to, in a way, think as another person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in
It really
itself a
spoke to you.
puzzle.
It really spoke to you.
It really did.
Put you in someone else's shoes.
It did.
Said, you would be fashioning weapons out of everything in here, and this guy just wants to hide in the closet.
I mean, they're just walking past things and like, why are we walking past this duct tape? Why are we leaving these razor blades? We could have a spear by now.
Yeah.
But this guy's not
That's
thinking
not
like
how he
that.
thinks.
He just wants to get out.
He wants to get out. He's a
wants
journalist.
to get the hell out.
He's a journalist. He came there for the story. The story is coming from him, and he does not want any part of
And
it.
at this point, I'm not sure if he's filming because he wants everybody to know what happened
Oh, yeah, I
to these
forgot
poor
about the
souls,
filming aspect.
or if he's filming because when he gets out of here, he wants everybody to believe him.
Look at this
No
shit.
one's gonna believe this
Yo, look
shit.
at this shit.
So I walked in here and everybody just died. Oh, hey, officer, we're having a doozy of a day. Here I was walking into a mental hospital, and everybody just started killing themselves all over the place. Yeah, that's
I mean,
gonna
it kinda
fly.
sounds about right.
Nah.
I think we're going to end the discussion by talking about my favorite game on this list. That would be The Last of Us.
A game which I have to admit never finished.
That's
Should have
sad.
finished.
The thing about that game that I love is that the gameplay and the story are seamless. In Uncharted, for example, you're playing as Nathan Drake, and in none of these cutscenes is there any indication that this is the same character who has just murdered 400 people.
Mm-hmm.
No, like look into his psyche. No examination of what makes him okay with killing all these people. In Last of Us, you're killing people. You have very limited ammo. Everything counts. You're throwing bricks at people, and you feel it. When you hit someone in the face with a brick, you feel it, and it just feels like there's no transition between gameplay and story. It's all seamless. You feel like the same characters in the gameplay are the same characters in the cutscene.
Yeah. One thing I have to say, only having played probably like, what would you say, an hour and 30 minutes into the
Not much.
storyline? Not much.
Not much.
Not much. One thing I have to say that it got across really quick and it did very well. There's a lot of games where you have a partner or, someone who follow you around. They'll give you a drone, they'll give you this, they'll give you that. It doesn't really matter. But you don't really feel like you need to protect that character. You don't care if they get hurt. You just
care about Ellie.
You see them as a hindrance. One thing they did really well is they made you think. They put you in the shoes of an actual parent. They made you think, oh God, this is my daughter. I got to watch out for her. My actions have consequences, and that's the beauty of it. That quick.
Part 2's coming out pretty soon.
Ooh.
Actually, not pretty soon. I think they just showed off a new trailer at Paris Games Week, but I don't think we have a release date yet. That's what I'm gonna have to get a PlayStation 4 for. The Last of Us 2. But yeah. The Last of Us. I played through about half of it in the first day I got it. Got to the part with Henry and Sam. You people know what I'm talking about, Henry and Sam. And I just had to set the controller down and go for a walk. I just had to get out of the house. I had to put it down. I had to step away. I think that about wraps it up for our first episode of Rated D for Discussion.
I think it went fairly well.
Yeah,
I hope everybody.
well enough. I feel like we kind of rushed through a few of these, but it's our first episode. It's our first episode.
We'll get through it.
We'll be back next week with a discussion on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Coming out in 2 weeks.
And not Majora's Mask.
Sayonara.